Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering? If the answer is yes, then you're ready.
Hey there, my loves. This is a quick video for my trans and Jewish followers out there. I am so fucking sorry that you have to see so many videos of people engaging with this stupid Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy game. I'm so sorry that so many people are letting you down. I'm so sorry that so many people have chosen their nostalgia over your right to exist happily and safely in this world. And I also wanted to tell you this in case nobody else has yet. You are not overreacting, you are not a burden, and you are not asking too much by asking people to not play this game. I am not trans, I am not Jewish, and I loved Harry Potter as a kid. But I will tell you time and time and again that the decision to abandon that entire franchise was easier than deciding what to eat in the morning. Don't let anybody try to convince you otherwise. You all deserve so much better, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to make my spaces safe for you.
Hi, Benji here, and I'm going to break down why it's transphobic to buy the new Harry Potter game, Hogwarts Legacy. Regardless of whether or not the money generated from sales of the game goes directly to Joke Rowling, by buying and supporting the game, you are contributing towards the continued success of the Harry Potter brand. A brand that gives Joke Rowling money and influence that she uses to actively oppose trans rights. Therefore, buying the game is a transphobic act. By that, I don't mean that every person who plays or supports the game hates trans people, but they are deliberately or unintentionally enabling transphobia. I'm also not naive to the fact that many corporations use our money for nefarious means, meaning it's almost impossible to buy things in a way that's completely ethical. However, in this case, the connection between our investment and the continuation of harm is too transparent to not be avoided. Hope that helps. Bye.
I keep hearing excuses for people buying Hogwarts Legacy, and it's centered a lot around the fact that J.K. Rowling is opening up a rape crisis center for women. Here's the problem with that, because it is for cis women only, right? And even if we disregard the transphobia, this is going to be fucking terrible for cis women as well. The absolute last thing you need after being assaulted is intrusive and violating exams to prove your womanhood. And that is what women will have to undergo to prove that they are women. And not only will they have to undergo another assault in order to access help and services after one of the worst things that can happen to you. This will also mean that any woman who does not appear stereotypically female, aka meeting Eurocentric beauty standards, is going to face further harassment and doubts about their gender while they're trying to access help after being raped. And this is going to disproportionately affect queer women and black women who do not meet Eurocentric beauty standards. So that means if you've got short hair or a masculine figure, or you just don't look how they want you to look as a woman, you are going to face more abuse and more harassment just to access help after being assaulted. And that's on top of the already intrusive and violating exams you would have to go through to prove that you're woman enough to deserve help. Like, this is not good for any woman. It's transphobic. It's racist. It's queerphobic. It's fucking disgusting on every level. And even disregarding all that, it's a vanity project for a millionaire to try and improve her public reputation. And a tax write-off for her, let's be real. Like, there's just no way you can spin it where it's a good thing. And we need to be more intersectional in addressing J.K. Rowling's transphobia, because it also comes down to racism, classism, anti-Semitism. All of these things, they can't be removed from these issues because marginalised people are disproportionately impacted. Don't fucking buy it!
Here is my unhappy trans response to what streamers have been saying about the Harry Potter game. None of the information about the game is new. We've been talking about boycotting this game since long before it came out. And so I'm a little bit surprised at these streamers' surprise that they're suddenly catching flack for playing this game. And I know that some streamers are saying that they're getting hate speech and that they're getting bullied. But these streamers are acting like they've done absolutely nothing to provoke any of this. But my issue is that this has been turned on its head, and it's gone from trans people and Jewish people are being badly affected by this game to, oh, woe is me, the streamer. I'm getting comments going, don't play this game, that I suck. Oh no. Oh, poor me. And, and poor dev team, the poor devs. When, where has any of this sudden sympathy come for trans and Jewish people who have been talking about these issues for months? And this is exactly the thing. Telling people to not buy a video game is too far for a lot of people. People value this video game over our issues. And that is just the fact. This woman has single-handedly reinvigorated a whole generation of rad femmes and a whole generation of transphobic people to be public with their statements. So what gets me is that these streamers, these people who buy the game, don't want to be put into a box as a transphobe or as an anti-Semite, right? They just want to play the game. They just want to play their game, right? But you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't blatantly ignore what trans and Jewish people have been saying for months, and not quietly, and then get your little game and then expect everybody to just let it go. Because again, it shows you exactly what you value. It shows exactly what you value. And no, seriously, I don't care if a streamer has donated tens of millions of dollars to charity, done all this amazing stuff. You've been following them, you're on their Patreon, they're such a good person, they have a wife and a kid. I don't fucking care. You either side with the woman who wants us dead, or you don't play one video game. It's really as easy as that. And so the consequences of your action is that you don't get to call yourself an ally. You don't get to call yourself a Jewish ally or a trans ally. And that is just the consequence. You cannot play this game and then go, but I love trans people. You're not listening to us. You only have us around for when our opinions agree with you. You don't actually care.
Hi, hello, I'm the creator of the video that is linked to this comment. If you aren't aware...
Yep, and isn't it a surprise that she's just taken a selfie and promoted it on her social media of her wearing the horrific Nicola Sturgeon t-shirt, which is not only supporting transphobia, but is also supporting white supremacy. And she does this every single time one of her awful movies come out, or whenever she has a game, and people are like, no, she's not profiteering off it anymore because she's not profiting off it anymore because they don't give her enough money or whatever. Like, it's bullcrap. If she wasn't getting any money from it, then why does she do it every time something comes out? She must be making something from it. Well, it just makes her more relevant, doesn't it? And she's not relevant at all. She just needs to get in the bin. I'm sick and tired of her. So I've decided that I'm going to be making a badge related to JKR in her honour. And I'm going to be giving a percentage to mermaids. So once I've sorted it out, once I've designed it, I shall be releasing it on my website and giving a percentage to mermaids. And you will also be supporting an LGBTQIA plus member of the community as well, and supporting a queer business. So yeah, like, I am actually done. I'm sick to death of this woman, and she just needs to literally just disappear off this face of this earth. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Now Elon Musk owns Twitter because he's trying to get Trump, whether he is or not, back on Twitter. I don't know. I don't really care, but yeah. And Elon Musk is just as much of a transphobe, so we're not gonna get rid of JKR, sadly. But yeah, just thought I would add my 2p. And apparently, if you go to the Harry Potter studios, you aren't actually giving any money to JKR, but I don't know how true that is. I just think that at the end of the day, we need to stop giving this woman any kind of profit, and just, to be honest with you, we just need to boycott the whole of the Harry Potter series, in my opinion, because her name's still there in it, ingrained into it. She was the one that created it, so.
Hey, I just wanted to tell you that, like, as your friend, I bought the Harry Potter game. Like, I actually pre-ordered it, and I don't think that should affect our friendship, though. So I don't want you to fight me about it. I don't want you to tell me what's wrong with it, because J.K. Rowling doesn't actually hate trans people. She just thinks they're not real women. So, yeah.
Woo! I feel like I've avoided this question long enough, so let's get down to it. I'm hosting a party for the Rihanna concert tonight, and all my friends are gonna come over and watch it with me, so I'm gonna get ready for that, and we can talk along the way, okay? When I was growing up as a kid, there was very little representation for queer kids, and often we would see something and go, well, that's kind of queer, let's go with that. All of a sudden, this book comes out where the main character is living underneath a staircase in a closet. Like, come on! I mean, this kid was picked on by his own family. He felt different no matter where he went all the time. That is something that a lot of queer people can relate to. And then out of nowhere comes this big guy who's half giant named Haggard. And he drives in on a flying motorcycle and he tells Harry, "You're something special, Harry. You're a goddamn wizard." And every queer kid across the whole world went, "What?" The book was so widely successful within the queer community that this author became like a hero to the trans, non-binary, and queer communities. We fucking loved her. This was so pervasive that you could go to almost any Pride event and you would see someone wearing Gryffindor robes or Slytherin or Hufflepuff. You name it, they would wear it but make it slightly gay. It was common vernacular for queer people to call straight people muggles. Years went by, and the bond between author and fans got stronger, and her name became synonymous with sticking up for people who were different. And then she was liking all these comments on Twitter that were pretty transphobic, but we were like, no, it can't be. And then out of nowhere it happened. She released her manifesto, a whole essay about how she really felt about the trans community, and she did it during Pride season. And it did not stop there. She started using her money, power, and influence in order to support anti-trans laws. And she even started backing right-wing politicians who were making these laws. And then all of a sudden, the fantasy was dead. And a lot of us started mourning. I feel like there isn't a day that goes by that I'm not asked about that author. I don't get to enjoy that world anymore. I can't enjoy that world without reminding myself about the bigotry that the author has for people like me. But you can. You might be able to enjoy that. And maybe you can separate yourself from that, and that's fine. But the money, the power, and the influence she has comes from that world. So when you play these games, I don't care. I don't care. But I sure hell notice when you do. And as for the author, this is what we all think. Fuck J.K. Rowling! What they said. Bye-bye!
I am so sick of seeing y'all justify playing the new Harry Potter game. It's all I'm seeing all over my FYP. Oh, you can separate the art from the artist. Not when the artist is still alive and spouting transphobic rhetoric, has anti-Semitic and racist bullshit all throughout her world. And let me tell you something. I'm a millennial. I grew up with Harry Potter. I remember waiting for the books to come out. I stayed up all night long reading the 6th book. All night. On a school night. Because I wanted to read it so bad. So if I can put this world down and realize it for what it is, so can you. And if you won't, then you are pretty much spitting in the face of everyone you know that is Jewish or trans or pretty much not white, because, I mean, I didn't think about it whenever I was a kid, but how unoriginal is Cho Chang of a name for the, I'm pretty sure, only Asian character that I remember. Like, I'm sorry, it just makes me so mad. Like, the things that she has said is so incredibly harmful. And the themes in her books, now that I'm older, are so awful. Just do better and stop supporting this world. Even if you pirate it, you're still playing a game that is rife with anti-Semitic themes. Is that really something that you want? If you do, it's whatever. I can't tell you what to do. I'm just saying that you're kind of shitty for doing it.
Hey Hogwarts Legacy people who care about the devs so much, where were you during the release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Because I remember people boycotting that game in droves and being mad that they couldn't refund it and demanding people not play it simply because it had glitches in it. Like, people were saying the devs were evil and the worst and making the game bad on purpose, and that they were intentionally producing worse and worse games because they knew that we'd buy it anyway because it's Pokemon, which is not true, and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are some of my favorite games, and I think they're some of the best in the series. And yet, we point out the fact that Hogwarts Legacy is anti-Semitic and the creators are transphobic, and the game is apparently glitchy as hell as well, and yet you can't get them to not play that game because the poor devs who have already been paid and are also apparently just as anti-Semitic, because how could you work on this game and not see the problem? Like, children were bullied off the internet for glitches, and yet trans people can't say, hey, don't play the game?
I genuinely don't understand how people can genuinely say that Hogwarts Legacy isn't transphobic and that people just want to play a game and it isn't harmful, when it's literally empowering people into saying that they think that we as trans people should be wiped out.
It honestly baffles me that I still have to make content like this. As the new Harry Potter game looms even closer, people like myself have been encouraging people to not buy it. And J.K. Rowling is dragging trans people and trans supporters through the mud and subjecting them to her following of millions of trans haters. Literally mocking them and sending a lure of hate their way. I agree with this person. If you have Harry Potter books and Harry Potter DVDs that you have already, there's no point in getting rid of them. Enjoy them privately, but don't stream them. Any public support for this woman is public support that encourages her to keep doing what she's doing. The past year, trans hate crimes in the United Kingdom have risen exponentially, and it's been surmised that it's because of people like J.K. Rowling spreading hate and encouraging hate towards trans people on social media. I implore you, as a trans person who is begging you to listen to me, shut this down. Do not support her in any way. Shut down her rhetoric. There are trans people literally losing their lives because of stuff that people like her are saying on the internet.
Guys, I am such an ally that I'm gonna buy a game that offends 3 separate communities all at once. I not only get to buy this game and directly support a TERF, but in the game, I get to have my own little slave. Hold on, that's not even the best part. The villains of the game are literally anti-Semitic caricatures. Oh my god! You know, I am such an ally that I know better than the communities that I claim I support. You know, Jewish people, when they told us that it was anti-Semitic like years ago, I didn't believe them until, you know, like my evangelical favorite YouTuber actually corroborated. And I know you guys might be a little upset with me when I did that like cosplay of my house. You know, even after trans people begged and pleaded for us not to do it because having all of these cute and quirky videos about said series undermines all of the serious things that are happening. You know, I did it because I wanted to show my support for my house. You know, I'm Teen Snake, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I am aware that the Snake House is representative of Yahtzees, but you know, I'm an ally, okay? So it's okay for me to dress up as a hate group because I am an ally. And I keep seeing people in the comments telling me that I'm a fake ally and that I don't actually support marginalized community. You know, and I keep having people claim that I'm helping spread anti-Semitic rhetoric, but like that's not true. It was only in the books, the games, and the movies. I keep having people trying to educate me, saying that me doing all of this stuff actually is harming people of color. Yeah, making all of these outlandish claims that the people of color's names are racially motivated. We're talking about how in the book they literally had a whole argument about slavery and how the book tried to frame slavery as a good thing or whatever. Like, guys, I'm an ally. I think I would know what racism looks like more than said communities would. I mean, I have the multicolored fists in my bio. I posted the black square 2 years ago, okay? And I keep seeing people complain about how you can't be a trans ally and directly support somebody who dislikes trans people. But it wasn't even that bad. She's only just like retweeted, quote tweeted, and shouted out a lot of companies that are trying to like get trans people unalived or whatever. Like, it's not even that bad. She's only done it like what, 1, 2, a dozen times. But like, I am an ally, all right? And I think you guys are forgetting something really important. It's that like my nostalgia is worth more than marginalized communities' safety. So I'm gonna keep on supporting.
Exactly this. Thank you. This is the point. J.K. Rowling's a billionaire. We are aware that even if every single Harry Potter fan ever didn't buy a single other thing, it would not impact her financially whatsoever. That's not what this is about. Choosing to not consume art from a shitty human being is about principles and integrity and setting an example for future generations. And being a decent person, and also, and most fucking importantly, to our friends that are part of these communities that she was shitty to in the books and that she is actively hurting now, it's telling them that we support you and fuck anti-Semites and fuck transphobes. That's the fucking point. It's not about money. Jesus fucking Christ.
Go play the game. I never once said you can't. I never once said don't. All I said was what I saw wrong with the game, with all of her work, and what a lot of people have seen wrong with the game and her work. And if your reaction to that is, I don't care, I'm going to go do it, then go do it. But my reaction to that is going to be, you're not a good person for it. That doesn't mean you're a bad person overall, but in this regard, you're making the wrong choice in my opinion. And if that makes you upset, bummer. You are more than entitled to your right to go play that game. You are completely entitled to the idea that that game is okay to play. But I'm entitled to the idea that it's not, and that people who play it are not safe for the marginalized communities that have spoken out against it and against all of her work. And if your response to that is to get mad at me and us for talking out against it, that just further proves you are a part of the problem.